are going to learn how to turn a whole fish into 2 fillets with the tail, head and bones taken out. This way you can cook the final product any way you want. Before we start, I want to go over some of the tools that are nice to use for this job. The exact tools are not necessary, but are nice to have for the job as they will make it easier. The first tool is called a curved knife, which is used for cutting and cleaning the fish. The most important specialty knife is called deboner or fillet knife. Most kitchens do not have a knife like this, and it is a specialty knife. Notice how long and narrow the knife is, so you can slice through the fish when you are filleting the bones away from the fillet. The next tool is called a scaler. The scaler is used for the outside of the fish to remove the scales from the fish skin. The importance of this tool is that it is not too sharp, because if it is, then it will slice the fillet and ruin with it. The final tool is a plain and simple set of pliers that you will use to pull the bones out of the fillet. The best pliers for this are needle nose pliers with a narrow nose, so you will be able to reach the bones without damaging the fillet. Now that we have covered the tools, we will cover some of the most typical fish varieties you will find in the grocery store. First, we have the trout and the cod. Both of these can be found in most grocery stores, though the trout might be more seasonal. The most common fish here are the salmon and tilapia. The salmon is a predator fish preying on smaller fish, while the tilapia feeds on the bottom of the ocean and not on other fish varieties. The tilapia is considered more eco-friendly for that reason. Now that we have covered the tools and the most common fish you can use for the practice and eating, we are ready to start. Please make sure that you have a nice clean work area, and a wooden cutting board is preferred to work on. The first step is to scale your fish. Grasp the fish by the tail. Run a knife against the scales from the tail to the head to remove the scales. Be careful to not slice into the skin of the fish. Turn your fish over and repeat on the opposite side. Holding the fish in the same way as when you scaled it, use a sharp knife to slit the fish from the tail to the head across the belly. You can start the cut right in front of the rear fin, and the slice should be in a straight line across to the gills. Remove the guts from the fish by cutting out the guts and innards. Make sure that you remove all the blood inside the cavity next to the spine of the fish. Some people like to keep the roe and or the liver of the fish for special dishes or stock. Using a knife or a spoon, trim any excess cartilage from the belly. You can do this by scraping the tools from the spine of the fish to the outside of the belly. This way you remove the excess skin and cartilage from the fish. With a sharp pair of scissors, cut away all the fins along the back of the fish. This step is not as easy as it sounds, as some of the fin bones are quite tough and can be hard to cut with normal scissors. Now that the fish has been gutted, rinse the inside of the fish under cold water to wash away any blood and remaining innards from the fish. You should also make sure you wash the outside of the fish to wash away any remaining scales. The fish now is ready for whole fish recipes, but since we are filleting the fish, today we will continue with the process. Note that these fish are gutted, scaled and cleaned and are laying on a cutting board ready to start. With your deboner in one hand and the tail in the other, slide down across the back of the tail and be careful not to cut through the fish. Once you hit the bone, change the angle of your knife to be able to slice through the fish right above the bone all the way to the gills. To free the fillet from the head, cut into the fish just to the rear of the chest fin on one side. No need to cut the head off at this point. Also, slice the fillet across the other end to free it from the tail. Your finished fillets should be deboned. Gently feel for bones and pull them out with pliers. These moist fillets can be fried, so skin is crispy and flesh is tender. Bones can be used for fish stock or soup base. You can prepare your completely fillets any way you like. The picture here shows one fillet pan-fried over asparagus. But you can also cook in foil, boil in water or in your George Foreman grill. Last, I want to thank all of you for being such good students and paying attention to our little tutorial.